guys, in today's Meet the Fleet video I want to show you something that was quite fun to do. I was given this donor locomotive, an ALCO 1065 Union Pacific, and in my parts box I had some magnet traction motors that did not go with this locomotive, but I managed to make it fit, and now we have one heck of a puller with an E-unit in it. So I want to show you how I did that one in the upcoming video. Like that. This train was given to me, actually given to my son, and he really liked it. It's in rough shape. It's got this pink stuff on the back. I don't know what that is. A couple holes drilled through this. Not sure why. 2 holes drilled in the front here, as you can see. Not sure why, but I mean the shell is also split. So, you know, it was a great little locomotive. Really fun, but not, not something I'm overly concerned with messing around with. So, having said that, messing around with it is exactly what I did. In my parts bin, I had the magnet traction rear end from a Lionel 624, which is an NW2 switcher. And I thought maybe I could put that magnet traction motor into this ALCO unit. And I did. That's what we have in here now. And I'm going to kind of just go over how that was done. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of me actually doing that. It was done before I started this channel, but let's crack it open and just kind of go over it right now. Here is the internals of this. So this is the original ALCO frame. As you can see, this E-unit came out of an 1130 that I had in the spare parts bin, and here is the 624 motor. So the reason I wanted to do this in the first place was once I noticed that the trucks looked identical, I thought, hey, why not give this a shot and see if it works. It wasn't a straight drop-in type thing because this motor on the NW2, it has this bracket that you can see here that actually screws into the frame. Maybe I'll put up a picture there to show you how it actually mounts into that frame or show you where the screws are. So obviously the ALCO didn't have that, but it had just enough room that I could get a drill in there and drill a hole to mount this, or put the screw through to mount it onto this frame. So as you can see, it just bit the edge of the frame. It was just enough to hold it in. This side, I got a hole right through the actual metal of the frame itself. So that is how I actually mounted that to here. It also took a little bit of cutting. So the drilling wasn't the only thing that I had to do. So let's just take the motor apart and have a look at what else was done here. So here we have the motor out. There's the trucks over here. So I don't have another ALCO frame to show you a comparison of what the opening size was originally like, but you can probably see that there was some rough cutting done, which I did with a hacksaw blade because I don't have any kind of fancy power tools or anything to have cut this metal with. So what I had to do was widen this opening up a bit. And this also, I believe it kind of came around like this, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't remember anymore. But anyways, so I had the notch out here and here, take some material off on this side, obviously drill the holes for this mounting bracket right there, in order for the whole thing to fit. So it did. It took a little bit of work, but it eventually fit into place. And the other problem I did have is the truck itself. It sits a little bit higher in the frame than the original one did. So if you actually look on a profile of this on the track, the back end of the train sits a little bit lower than the front does. So just to show you too, by comparison, here is the original motor that came out of there. I've actually borrowed the armature and commutator out of it. So it used to sit right in here like that, and then the springs and the little lock push washer things would sit on these posts here and hold the motor in. But this thing was just so badly underpowered he couldn't really haul a lot of stuff. And at the time, I had just gotten myself a set of silver post-war passenger cars that my son really enjoyed, and this locomotive could not pull those things to save its life. So that was kind of the whole reason that I thought, hey, let's put a more powerful motor in here. So, like I said, with a hacksaw blade, just like this one, and a lot of time I trimmed out this frame to widen it to accommodate for that motor, drilled these holes to allow the screws to pass through the frame and sit in, and was able to put this motor into the ALCO frame. Probably would have been a lot easier if I'd gotten another donor locomotive that already had magnet traction in it, but I didn't want to spend any money on this. I just wanted to use what I had, so that's exactly what I did. And like I said, this E-unit is out of an 1130. Just to prove that all the E-units, for the most part, are interchangeable with the motors, just dropped this one in, hooked it up to the motor, and it works perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassemble this, and we're going to take it over to the track, and I'm going to show you this one in operation. So let me just finish putting this together, and I'll see you back on the track. Use what you got and have fun with it. And that's the one thing I really like about this hobby and so many others. I used to scratch build a lot of military models when I was younger. Just the messing around and seeing what you can come up with was always one of the great joys of any hobby to me. I just like building the stuff, and in the case of these, I love repairing them to see them run again. So having said that, let's see this one run. All right, so we've got 1065 out on the track. We got the cars all set up for him to take. We got the big line of passenger cars, box car, and 2 flat cars to go. So let's get him powered up and picking up his freight.
Yeah.
All right, so that is Meet the Fleet video with the Union Pacific 1065 modified with a 624 motor. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit all the YouTube stuff, subscribe, like, bell notifications, all of that, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.